respected speaker with us, Vrajakrishna Das ji. So I would just like to briefly introduce him, and then we will continue with the today's session. So you can see Proj is spotlighted. He has completed his engineering from IIT BHU in 2004 in electronics branch, and since very beginning of his life he had many spiritual inquiries about what is actual meaning of life, what is beyond birth and death, and how to experience that real happiness which everyone is looking for. So being a sincere seeker from the very beginning, he came in teachings of Bhagavad-gita that time in his college days, and he really understood it very well. And from that time he had a deep desire to give this knowledge to many youth, many sections of the society, youths, and all kinds of people, and wanted to reach many of the people. And a special contribution of Prabhuji was that in 2012 he designed a value education contest booklet, and this booklet was very effective in reaching out to almost 8 lakh students till now in many schools, by which they could learn Bhagavad Gita in a very practical and appealing way. Apart from that, in 2011 he joined full-time in ISKCON and is serving as a full-time preacher, preaching Bhagavad Gita to many students, many congregation people, and many seminars he gives in Pune, Surathkal, Bangalore, like all these institutions also. And in Bhakti Yoga he has secured Bhakti Shastri degree, Bhakti Vaibhav degree. So very academically and very spiritually he has gone through this course through teachings of Gita and Bhagavatam, and has been very appealing, and has been giving it in a very appealing way. When we attend the sessions, we will see how the message of Bhagavad Gita is made application wise very easy to us to take it down. And last thing to mention was, when the lockdown started, Rosie conducted many sessions. Many of you might have come before, like success mantras and other sessions, in which almost more than 1,000 people were touched. So we are very fortunate to hear from him today. Let us continue with the session, and again welcome all of you.
Hare Krishna, everyone. I hope you're able to hear me. Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. We can see you and hear you clearly.
Okay. So, thank you very much. I welcome you all for this 6-day series. And especially I feel privileged to serve all of you with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Because during this current time of pandemic, lockdown, there is so much of negativity, stress, fear. And what could be the best thing we can do is learning Bhagavad Gita during the 6 days time, which removes shoka, moha, and bhaya. All lamentations, fear, stress, anxieties. It can give freedom. Whatever negativities are there in our mind can be removed. And thinking this, that how we can serve the society in this time. So we thought to start with this GITA Saar sessions. And we are very thankful to all of you that you have come and joined this session. And we pray to the Lord that the 6 days make something valuable in your life, will bring a change in your life, will bring happiness in your life, bring from fear to compassion to positivity in life. So with that, we begin. So we start with a small prayer invoking the blessings of the spiritual masters in the parampara. Om Ajnanatimidhandasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasha Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we start with our presentations of the session. So GITA Saar. So we recite this mantra about Gita Mahatmya, which is given by Shankaracharya. Sarupnishido gavo dogda gopala nandanaha partavasa sudhir bhokta dogdam gitam mritam maha. So what this verse says, Upanishads are like a cow, all Vedic knowledge. You consider it a cow. And what is we are interested in cow? To protect the cow and to take milk from the cow. So for getting the milk of the cow, we need a milkman, which comes and milk the cow. And first he brings the calf, for which the cow gives a milk. So milk is the calf is compared to Arjuna, and milkman is compared to Lord Krishna. So whatever one need to gain by learning all the Vedas, one can get just by understanding Bhagavad-gita from the knowledge, the milk which Lord Krishna is giving to Arjuna is open for all of us there. So Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the religions of the world, of all the Vedas in the world, and of all of humanity, and can give the greatest light to whole of humanity. So this Gita Saar series is dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It is because of his sacrifices, his dedication, his inspiration, by which we are actually able to come to know Bhagavad Gita. And more than 10 crores of copies of Bhagavad Gita have been distributed all over the world just by the divine inspiration of Srila Prabhupada. So he's a founder Acharya of ISKCON, and because of him, the whole idea of Bhagavad Gita and our culture spread all over the world. And people could relate even in my scientific modern world. And this is presentation brought to you by ISKCON Shishadipura. So from the side of ISKCON Shishadipura, we welcome you, all of you. And my inspiration came for the session from His Grace Anukul Keshav Prabhu and my spiritual mentor, His Grace Radhesham Prabhuji. Okay. Now let us see here, Arjuna. So big question, why should I study Bhagavad Gita? So Arjuna before, so better. Now what is there in Bhagavad Gita? As you know, there are 700 verses and 18 chapters, right? Now the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita talks about the introduction where Arjuna and Krishna, they are on the battlefield. They are on the battlefield and Arjuna sees Bhishma and Drona and he gets bewildered. Oh, how will I fight with them? How will I fight with my relatives? And that's where Bhagavad Gita begins. And Arjuna got stressed and he asked to Krishna, Krishna, I'm your surrendered disciple now. But before that, what was the situation of Arjuna? So Arjuna was saying, Vepatashu sharire me rom harsha jayate gandivam sastate hastan tak cheva parihattade. The whole body is trembling. This is a symptom of stress, fear. Whole body is trembling, hair is standing on end, and Gandhi was slipping from my hand. Naja shaknomi avasthatum brahmatva cha me manaha nimittani cha pashyami vipritani keshava. I'm not unable to stand longer. My mind is reeling. There's so much stress, so much fear, lack of confidence, demoralized, stress. But after Arjuna heard Bhagavad Gita, what happened? Arjuna emerged victorious. So in the same way, through our difficult situations in life, whatever it may be, Bhagavad Gita has a solution, right? So Arjuna emerged victorious because he heard the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita from Lord Krishna, and the what knowledge Arjuna heard from Lord Krishna, we are here to understand in a scientific and logical way from the verses of Bhagavad Gita. So are you interested to know that what topics, what knowledge Lord spoke in Bhagavad Gita, which enticed Arjuna, which made Arjuna happy? So let's see. So the 5 topics Lord Krishna spoke. Now there are 18 chapters, but 18 chapters you can categorize with 5 topics. The first topic is Jiva, knowledge of soul. When Lord Krishna started speaking in chapter 2, then Lord spoke about karma and karma yoga. In chapter 3, 4, and 5, how to work in this world. And then about Prakriti, how this nature works under his direction, how this nature is bringing so many difficulties, so many, and it is giving us so many gifts, how nature works. 7, 13, 14, 16, 17 chapter. Then about Ishvara, who is God, whom we should call out for help. What is the nature of God? The 7, 9, 10, and 15 chapter. And finally, Kala, the power of time, which is changing the whole world. What happens after death, right? Chapter 8, chapter 11. So these are the 5 subjects. And Lord Krishna spoke, the Bhagavad-gita is also Yoga Shastra, where different yogas are mentioned, Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. So the yoga is how I link to God in difficult times, how I can become happy, how I can come out of muses of this world is talked in chapter 6, 9, 12, 18. So in Yoga Liska, which is a topmost yoga system to be practiced very easily in Kali Yoga. What is the yoga mentioned in Bhagavad Gita for Kali Yuga? So I hope you're interested to know all the subjects. So before, so these are the 5 subjects of Bhagavad Gita. Ishvara means God, Jiva, we, the living entities, Prakriti, the nature around us, Kala, the time factor, and Karma, action, reaction. What work we do, what results come in our life, what reactions come in life is Karma. And knowledge of these 5 topics in these 5 days, derived from 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, can take us to a very scientific and logical presentation about Bhagavad Gita. And how can these 5 subjects help us? We study all subjects, chemistry, physics, biology, computer science, except ourselves. Who am I? About our mind. About who am I exactly? Why am I here? What's the purpose of life? And then more important, like during if lockdown happens, people run to their homes. So more than important, who am I? Whom I belong to? So we feel belongingness to our home, we go to home. So therefore, whom we belong to, God. To know about Him is very important, right? Then I do not want to become angry. Can I change my nature? How this nature is around us? Why do bad things are happening in my life? I'm a good person. Karma, law of karma, how they're working. It answers many of the questions. And how the time affects this world, pandemic, rise of power, what happens after that, the Kala factor. So all these topics we'll be learning through these sessions. So before we go, we want to have a poll. So we launch a poll that what are you looking? So you have to answer this question will come to you. So what are you looking from this course? So it's a multiple choice. You can take whatever is there. So accordingly, we know that what's you're actually looking in Bhagavad Gita. So please, the poll has come to you. Take the option. Okay, so most of you have answered. So let me show you the result of polling. So you'll all be able to see. So the maximum peace of mind and answer to questions like what is beyond death and what is the meaning of life. So I'm very happy to hear this. That you're looking about it because that's what Gita gives the answer. Because Arjuna was distressed and Arjuna was fighting a battle even more than life and death, whether to fight or not. What is my duty and what happens after death? So Lord Krishna has spoken. What is life for? Why we are here? Why God has sent us here, right? And how to understand all these things, right? And to know about God, 51% have sent. And to know Gita out of curiosity, very good there. So very happy that what you're looking for this course, and you will find what you are looking for the course, both peace of mind and answer to your questions and knowledge about God. And all your curiosity will get fulfilled. So let's go ahead. So today we are going to discuss about Jiva, the eye to see the eye. Like we don't see ourselves, like we see. So how we see ourselves, the eyes. Today we discuss the eyes to see ourselves, who we are. It's a fundamental question. Like we want to be happy. We always think, I want to be happy. That who's that I who's thinking that I want to be happy? So let's go ahead. And I will be looking for question answers, for you. And so please be responsive in chat and the polls. And at the end, we will have question and answers. So we'll see who am I, scientific proofs, what is mind, intelligence, and what's the benefit of this knowledge, how to get peace from this knowledge. Okay, so I want money. We're always looking how to increase money. Everybody is thinking how to increase money in life. I want money. I want car, bikes, motorbike, everything. I want career. I want to be famous, right? And I want to be happy, right? I want to smile. But who am I? Who am I? $1 million question, right? Okay, so let's put me another poll to answer this question to understand who am I. So the poll upon you. So please fill in the poll. Who am I? Okay, so many of you have there, and I got the results of the polling, but I won't share this result. But many have seen I'm Indian, 12%, I'm human being, 32%, and the right answer is 61%, which we'll discuss who we are. And I'm this body, 13%, I'm consciousness, 17%. Okay, so many of you already know who are you, so that's good. But let's have a discussion. Who are we? And we'll go and see, even we know who are we, but Krishna says one look upon this knowledge with wonder. When he speaks about this knowledge with wonder, and one hears this knowledge with wonder. So am I this body? Because this bodily cells are changed in 7 years' time. All cells of the body are changed, right? Then how is this body? Then after death, the body is gone. So are we gone with the body? Then who are we? This body is not permanent. Body goes away with us. Am I this hair? Hairs fall off. Am I this hand? Sometimes hand get amputated. Like if you ask, who am I? Who are you? You don't say, no, I'm head, I'm heart, I'm brain, I'm eyes. Then who you say, who are you? Right? Who are you? Then you say I. But whom you are referring? We don't know who am I. Am I this coat? Am I the nose? Who am I? Yes, easy to point out eyes, nose, but can you point to yourself? So who am I? I am. Let us see what is different between living and non-living, right? Like even a cat you see, it's living. Even a tree, as the experiment done by Jagdish Chandra Bose, we came to know that trees are also living. But you see a teddy bear, a fan, a machine, we don't find any symptoms of life. So what makes a difference between a living entity and a non-living person? So comparison between living and non-living things. So living things grow, but non-living things do not grow. For example, trees. They're at one place, but they grow. But stones do not grow. Machines do not grow. Living things breathe. Non-living things do not breathe. Even plants breathe. We breathe. We all need oxygen. We need food. Living things don't need food. We move. Living things do not move. Trees move at their own place. Living things feel. We do not feel. The non-living things do not feel. Like if somebody hits us, right? We feel a pain. But you hit a machine, it doesn't feel a pain. And living things reproduce, and non-living things don't reproduce. So, in essential, every living body undergoes 6 changes: birth, growth, maintenance, production of byproducts, reproduction of byproducts come out, dwindling, and then finally death. But the non-living things, they don't grow, they don't have production of byproducts, they just get unused. Now we want to know what is the worth of this human body. So, professor of anatomy, he says, most of human body is water. In a 60-pound person, there are about 5 pounds of calcium, 1.5 pounds of phosphate, 9 ounces of potassium, 6 ounces each of sulfur and sodium. And can you guess how much it costs to? In today's day, it costs $8.37, around 600 rupees, right? So, is that our worth? Only 600 rupees? Is ever worth that we are only 600 rupees? No. If your friend is going in a Mercedes Benz worth 42 lakh rupees and there's an accident, what he will save? Your friend or Mercedes Benz? Yes, we'll save our friend because the life has much more worth than this body. That means we're something different from this body. So we are like a passenger inside this body who is witness to the changes in his body. So we are not the body, we are observing that our body is growing, 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 and finally dwindling, and finally death. So just we are seeing, see, just we are observer, just we are observer to our growth, same way we are observer to our death also. The spirit soul never dies. Why? Because we are not this body, we are spirit soul. So one time, one person asked me a question, everybody is aging in this world. But I answer, as spirit soul, I'm not aging. My body is aging. So when we understand this convention, who we are, a paradigm, a whole paradigm of our life changes. See, what is different between Vedic civilization and modern civilization? The paradigm, who are you? Who are you? And today's day, a big question is put, who are we? Is everything ends at the death? Does everything ends at death? Who we are we something beyond? And this is the knowledge of Bhagavad-gita Lord Krishna is giving to Arjuna. Arjuna was thinking, so many people in the battlefield, dharma, or saving the lives of people. And Lord Krishna at that time gives him this knowledge about soul, about Atma. And in India, if you're born from childhood, everybody would have heard the word Atma. How many of you raise your hand if you heard the word Atma before? Even from childhood, you heard the word Atma. Everywhere you will find some home or other, somewhere some Gita verse is written and talking about Atma, right? But we may wonder what this Atma is all about. But all of us have heard this name of Atma, right? This word Atma is there. But in my life also, from childhood I was always thinking, what is this Atma? It never hit my life. When I was in my 12th standard, that's the time I was undergoing some trouble in my life. Some friends, some seniors were troubling me. I was in my 12th standard. And while they were troubling me, so I went to my mother, what should I do? And mother told me to worship God. So I was starting doing okay if it helps there. And there's a time I got a Bhagavad-gita in my home. And I started to read about Yanada's body, spirit, soul. And that's the time it really hits my mind. Yes, I am something beyond this body. I'm observing this body. I'm not this body. So if anything happening to this body is actually not happening to me. And then I read the word Nanam Chandanti Shastrani, Nanam Dahati Pavaka, Na Chenam Kedam Vyapuna Shveshati Marika. Weapons cannot kill this Atma. Fire cannot drive up this Atma. No disease can touch this Atma. And even water cannot kill this Atma because it is eternal and that's what we love. At the moment I heard this, the fear gone away from anybody. A source of confidence, source of energy, it developed because I'm a spirit soul, part and parcel of God. My relationship with God is eternal. And that was a complete shift in my life. And I hope you have a shift in your life after this session. It makes a sense for your life. It brings a change. It brings a meaning. It brings a positivity. It brings a hope after this session is over. So very carefully, let's discuss about this Atma, the soul. The proofs, the scientifically will understand it, logically will understand it, from Bhagavad-gita will understand it, and the benefits of this knowledge of soul. And Vedic time, why children will go to Gurukul to learn from a guru, to learn about Atma. What do the Vedic scriptures talk a lot about this arrangement for this Atma itself, that soul. And that's what we're going to discuss over here. Who am I? Right? Name? No, it's not your name. Because your name can be changed. Somebody's name may be Paddy, tomorrow it may become Padmanabhan. Body, it's not your body. Because body can die. Son, people change their mother, father, or mother, father change them. Indian people change their nationalities. Hindu, Muslim, Christian, people change their dharma also. Right? So unless we know who we are, how can we expect to become happy or successful? We'll have stress, we'll have fears, we'll have negativity, we have difficulties because we don't know who we are. So here, Lord Krishna tells in Bhagavad-gita 18th chapter, Ishvara sarvbhutanam hedadeshe arjun tishtati brahmyan sarvabhutani yantarunani mayaya. We are not this body, we are spirit soul, body is like car, we are like the driver. And Lord is sitting with us in our heart. Hedadeshe arjuna tishtati. You see this diagram, beautiful it is. That person is seeing his face. But actually, person is sitting in the region of heart, the Atma. And because through eyes it is seeing, which are like sensors, so that person is watching, okay, I look like this. But actually, he's not. He's sitting somewhere here in the heart. The Atma, Hridayeshe Arjuna Tishtati. The Lord, the Atma sits in the region of heart, and the Lord accompanies the Atma there, and he's seeing himself there. But actually, he's not what he's seeing. He's seeing only the face. So Atma is an observer in this bodily machine, just like a car. If a person is driving a car, so car is like the body and the driver is like Atma. Yes, the car. If you're sitting in a car, you're driving a car. So if anybody want to say, "Oh, car wala aa gaya, Maruti aa gayi, Sumo aa gayi, truck aa gaya," people say like that. People don't know who's the person sitting in the car, who is the driver driving the car. They say car aa gayi. The same way we say aap aa gaye. That means no, the body. We see the body and we refer to the person in our general thing. But actually, the person, the soul, is like a driver sitting in this bodily car. The soul is like a driver sitting in the car. And just like a car you feed, a car also you give petrol, but you don't eat petrol, right? You eat food. Same way, this body, we make it eat, we sleep. But what is the food for soul? It's different what is the food for the body. And that's why we need something different to be satisfied in life, to be free from fear. So we are just an observer. And then Lord talks, okay, then how do you understand about this body, mind, and all things? So what constitutes matter? Bhumi api analavayu kham manorvati evacha ahankar ityam me bhinna prakatir ashtadha. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So they are matter, right? Gross body. It consists of our gross body. And what constitutes subtle matter? Mind, intelligence, and false ego. Can we see our mind? No. Can we see our intelligence? No. But we can see this body, which is made of earth, water, liquid substances come out, fire, digestion fire, right? In the body, heat is there in the body. If temperature goes beyond, person dies, the temperature goes below 95 and a person dead, or the fire increases, right? The tap, bukhar, fever. Then the air we are breathing, and ether is the whole space in the body. So that's what the five bodies made of. And the subtle matter is something which we cannot see: mind, intelligence, and false ego. And we'll talk about what is this mind, what is intelligence, what is false ego. But let's focus on this concept of the soul. But beyond this energy, of the Lord, there is something different. We are not the mind, we are not the intelligence, we are false ego. Okay, let us discuss about mind a moment here. What is mind? I give example, which I've given before. You close your eyes, and before this lockdown began, or this last month, you think of a picnic or a very nice time in your family where you have been moving, eating nice food. Just close your eyes for a few seconds and just remember that the nice time you were with your family, with your colleagues, enjoying life, eating food. So are you able to remember where are you? What are you doing? Okay, now open your eyes. So when you close your eyes, what was the experience you felt? Yes, Prabhu would like to say your experience. Can you unmute?
Probably in a restaurant with my family.
Okay.
And it involved like happiness, certain joy, and being with loved and
But you're sitting here, but your mind, you saw, went somewhere.
Yeah.
Your mind went somewhere. So how? So
Yes.
that's mind. I'm sitting here, but my mind goes somewhere. But was mind experiencing happiness, or you, something different from the mind, was experiencing happiness? Yes.
Like I was feeling that happiness. Like
Yes, right?
I was the one who was feeling.
Yeah. So mind was feeling, and you're experiencing that happiness, that is soul. So there's a difference in mind. The thoughts keep going. Even I'm at some place, even I'm close my eyes, my body is still, but the mind is always functioning. Like even in sleep, dreams, dreams come. So my mind is active, but my body is at rest there. But experience of those thoughts is done by the Atma. Right? So I hope you're getting some feeling. So beyond mind, intelligence, and false ego is Lord's aparayam itastonya prakatim viddhi me param. Jiva muta mahabhavam yadam dharidadeva. Beside this, Almighty Amajna, there's another superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Right? They are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. So here is example, gross body. So you're able to see this body, right? It's made of earth, fire, air, ether. Then there's a subtle body, Sukshma Shari. Sukshma Shari, when we're sleeping, the Sukshma Shari is active. A lot of dreams is coming. Mind, intelligence, false ego. We're making plans, we're taking decisions. You're feeling hurt. Somebody hurts us. Like somebody said, you are fat, you are thin. And he has not done anything, but still we start feeling bad. So what happens? Our ego gets hurt. Isn't ego gets hurt? But where? He has not hurt us anything. Then what has hurt? Ego. So this such Sukshma Sharir, which is a shunt, but the ego is a shunt between identification between the soul and the gross body. That I'm like this. And that conception gets hit, that's called ego, which is in the subtle body. And the Atma is made of pure bliss, happiness. See, we're always looking to be happy. Nobody wants. Is anybody who wants to be miserable here? Please raise your hand if anybody wants to be miserable here. I hope nobody has raised a hand. So nobody is there who wants to be miserable, right? So that means always we all want to be happy. Then why people do so much search on Google? Because they want all knowledge. And nobody, is there anyone who wants to die? Nobody wants to die. People want to, people commit suicide out of frustration, but nobody wants to die because they want to be happy. So everybody wants to be eternal because that's the nature of Atma. So actually, Atma never dies. The Atma just changes from one body to another. Just like we change clothes. Suppose I give up this cloth and wear another cloth. The same way, body, Atma, changes one body to another. Just like a driver gives up one car and moves to another car. You give up one house, goes to another house. Sometimes if there is a Pushtani house, right, in which we are living for 60 years, it's very painful to give up the house. How many have experienced if you're living in a house of 60, 70 years and told, oh, give out this house? It's very painful, right? Though we are not the house, but giving up the house is very painful. Same way for the soul, because soul identifying with the body, so it's a very painful experience of what will happen to me. There is a fear because of bodily identification. Now, what is the difference between these two photos? Right? The both the same heroine is there. In this photo, she is there alive. In this photo, she is dead. Because the spirit soul has left. So all beauty has gone. There is no there. It's just a body line with some flesh. But here, there is Atma. There are emotions. So common sense. Now let us see. Let's see the proof about Atma. That this concept of Atma is built in all regions, not only in India. Everywhere in humanity, this concept is very much built with a common sense, and with some scientific researchers will try to understand years about this Atma. So when a person dies, we say she has passed away. So who has passed away? The body is still there. Pass away means कोई चला गया. तो कहाँ चला गया और कौन चला गया, right? It's actually the soul who has passed away. And that's why there are rituals also, right? For 13 days, 10 days, because the soul is hovering around the body. It takes some 10, 13 days to go. Our scriptures talk about. So there is a small video.
In Germany, Christina's doctors are also losing their battle. Her heart will not restart. She has just minutes before her brain too shuts down.
Es wurden Defibrillationsschocks.
We were trying to jumpstart her heart with a defibrillator.
Zum Schlagen zu bringen. Gleichzeitig
We gave her several drugs.
mehrere Medikamente. Der Patientin hatte zu viel Blut.
The patient had lost too much blood. Her organs weren't getting enough.
Wo kein Mensch und ich am wenigsten
We really didn't think we could save her.
erfolgreich sein können.
Because Christina's heart has stopped pumping, many would consider her dead. Yet something seems to be happening with her mind.
I know. I was hovering underneath the ceiling of the room. I could see down on myself laying on the operating table. And I saw the surgeons and heard them talking to each other. The scenario was pretty hectic. I realized that this was about life or death.
To help understand near-death experiences, some researchers focus
that occurs early in near-death experiences is what's called an out-of-body experience. At that time, the person seems to be able to see and hear things going on, but up from the vantage point above their body.
So actually, she saw that she was hovering somewhere above the body.
In
Now, okay, so this is a verse, no, you might have heard many places. Dehino yasmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jaraha. So would you like to recite after me? Dehino yasmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jaraha तथा देहांतर प्राप्ते धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यते. So what's it? The Dehi goes just like the Atma. We become from childhood to youth, from youth to old age. Same way, at the time of death, the soul changes one body to another. And sober people do not get bewildered by that change. See, this thing, if somebody is lost in a Kumbh Mela, right, when he was 5 years old, but then he come at 25 years of age. Now all cells of his body are changed to come back to his parents. All cells of his body is changed. His whole hulya is changed. But still parents will accept him or not? Yes. Why? Because he's the same person. So he just has a change from youth to boyhood to young age and then to old age. Similarly, at the time of death, you get another body, a new body. That is about death. So person who is intelligent doesn't get bewildered by death. That's what Lord Krishna is talking about. Then I told about this verse, soul is never destroyed, nothing can harm the soul. And soul is a part and parcel of God. We'll talk about this verse more, that how the soul is a part and parcel of God. So as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones.
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
So what happens? Now a question comes, what happens to death? Okay, if we are not this body, we are spirit, soul, and death is just a change for the body, then what happens at the time of death? The soul leaves the gross body behind and is taken to another room based on the quality of desires stored in a settled body at the time of death. And this is called reincarnation, Poonjanam. In India, to hear the stories of Poonjanam is not uncommon. It's called Poonjanam. Again, he has taken birth. Poonjanam, or reincarnate. Again, he has taken kar. Kar means flesh. Kar, reincarnate. Again, he has taken flesh. So person leaves one body and takes another body. That means what? All of us also had millions of births before. In some species or the other, human being, animal, plants, trees, so many species of life have taken birth, and future also, you give up this body, another body is ready. And this process is called reincarnation. And there's a proof. Now you may think it's only our concept of Bhagavad-gita. If reincarnation is true, then there should be some cases which remember their last life. So Ian Stevenson is a professor who has written many books about reincarnation, and he has himself found 2,000 cases of reincarnation. And in fact, it's a very real story of this fighter pilot which came in BBC, in Fox 8 News, right? So you want to see this video where it's a reincarnation story, it comes. So if you're unable to...
They have the same name and boyish good looks. James M. Houston, raised in the Midwest. James M. Leininger, a young boy from the Bayou.
Whoa! There's something in the eyes. It's undeniable.
That's not all they share.
Somehow James Houston's spirit has affected my son, either through reincarnation. I don't know how it happened.
I can read the Japanese easy as pie.
Initially,
so he's a small child, just only 3 years old, but he's talking about a war, talking about fighter planes, you know, and he never had experience of all that. So his parents got very much bewildered seeing him.
Pie. Initially, what caught my attention was James's extreme fascination with airplanes.
And every night he slept with his G.I. Joe action figures, which he named. They're missing and presumed dead.
Where did he take off from a boat?
Do you remember the name of your boat? He said Natoma.
Found several thousand hits on the word Natoma.
The USS Natoma Bay launched into battle, headed for Iwo Jima in the fight for Lady Gulf.
It's the biggest naval battle in the history of the world.
Leo Pyatt served on the ship. From his home in Ohio, he organizes the Natoma Bay reunions. That's how Bruce found him.
I wanted to disprove it.
He asked a few questions about, did I know some of the people? Oh yeah, I remember those people. And so he got very quiet.
It was all real. The people and places James described actually existed. And remember those G.I. Joe dolls that James named? Turns out 3 men with the same names, first and last, served on the Natoma and were killed in action. James said they greeted him in heaven after his crash.
I'd always asked him, do you remember what your name was? And he always said James. But his name is James.
Yes, there was a Jim Houston, a rather large shell. Just hit him in the engine and it burst into flames and went down.
They showed Leo the drawings.
He was right on the nose. I'm sure, in my mind, that he was there.
Leo even called them by name.
You're Bob Greenwald. I'm serious.
And he'd never met Bob Greenwald?
No, he'd never met him before.
And someone else was invited. James Houston's sister, Anne.
And he goes, it's not Anne, it's Annie. She wasn't my oldest sister. I had an older sister than that. And I said, you did? Who was that? And he goes, Ruth. Ruth.
Annie is what they called me when I was little. Knowing my name and my sister's name, things that my brother did when he was a kid. It's too amazing to describe how he would feel that way, but he does. He considers me his sister.
But does she consider James her brother?
I think it's probably a reincarnation of my brother.
So this is a story of James. I hope you got the context of it, that how this boy was remembering the fighter pilots and his parent research, and his parents from a Christian background. They were not from an Indian background also, they'll talk about Poon Janam and all those things. So they wanted to disprove it, such things doesn't happen and all that. But still they found out and they got a confirmation, yes, it was a case of reincarnation where he's remembering his last life. Now you may ask, okay, James remembered, why don't we remember? Now, do we remember what we ate when we were 1 year old, what dress we wear? We don't remember that, right? So this special memories are given only in certain cases about where people remembering their past life. Now we forget, if somebody asks us 6 months, what you used to do when you were 6 months old? You don't have any memory of it, then what to say of past life, right? And even if God gives us remembrance to everybody, we can't live life. Like if somebody has, some mishap has happened in our family, within 1-2 months. So for 1 year, we cannot enjoy. So if we are remembering the mishaps of last life, how we can live this life? Therefore, the Lord removes those memory for us. And then another thing is phobias. Like somebody is killed by stabbing, then he will have a lot of fear of weapons. Somebody is killed by drowning in the water, he'll have fear of water. So this phobias come into the life of the person. Even 2 twins are not equal. The 2 twins also, they have a different temperament. Though born of same egg material, but they have a different temperament. Okay, so now this is about reincarnation, which proves existence of soul. Now I was talking about mind. So mind can create a hell for us, or mind can create a heaven for us. So is our friend, mind our friend or enemy? So is the knife good or bad? What is the answer? Is the knife good or bad? Is the knife good or bad? The answer is, if it's in the hand of a surgeon, it's good. If it's in the hand of a thief, it's bad. You can kill it. Same way with mind. When it is uncontrolled, it's a friend. When it is uncontrolled, it's an enemy. And when our mind is controlled, it's a friend. So therefore, Lord says, Bandhu atmanamastasya yena atmev atmana jita anatmanastu shatrutve vartet atmev shatruva. Uncontrolled mind is our worst enemy. Controlled mind is our best friend. See, the Atma word may mean body, mind, and soul. All three, the word Atma. So here the Atma word refers to the mind. So now you see how this body, mind, soul mechanism works. So there's horses. You see, they are the senses. Like we have 5 senses: nose, eyes, ear, mouth. So they're senses. And what is the rope? The mind. What is the intelligence? The driver. And who's the passenger? The soul. So when the mind is under the control of intelligence and mind is not taken by the senses, the driver is in control, which is the intelligence, then soul can peacefully travel on this chariot. The same way, when our intelligence is directed by spiritual, by Bhagavad-gita, then our mind is peaceful. We can see the things as they are, and we are not carried away by different things. So working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the sense. You see, the rope is higher than the horses because rope can control the horses. And the higher than the mind is the intelligence because the driver can control the rope. And the soul is higher because soul can tell the driver, yahan chalna hai, udhar chalna hai, by determination. So this is a message of Bhagavad Gita, that how by having the right intelligence and strengthening our soul with determination, by connecting to God, we can control our mind and senses and come out of problems. So here the mental dialogue comes. So there's always a mind. What does do mind? Mind gives a lot of options, and intelligence decides. Like for example, if husband and wife goes for a purchasing, so then wife gives a lot of options. We can purchase this also. We can purchase that also. But husband said, "Arey, we have this much money only in pocket money," and husband said, "I don't purchase this much." So intelligence work like in the case like a husband. It says, "I don't purchase. We don't have that much money." But mind will give option. I want this also. I want that also. But the intelligence will say, "Oh no. We don't have so much money. We have." Yeah, like mind may take, "Oh, we'll smoke cigarette also," but it will say, "Hey, it's not a good thing to do there." So that's how the mental dialogues goes in our mind. If mind is stronger, mind wins, and you succumb to bad habit when it gives a bad option. If intelligence is stronger, you can resist the temptation. So mental dialogues, they are going on that way. Now, what is the beauty of reading Bhagavad Gita? It strengthens our intelligence, and then we can control the mind, our mental thoughts. Otherwise, thoughts makes us crazy. So now, so when we, of course, I told about this mind intelligence in a brief. We can speak over together about it. As you keep attending sessions, we'll come to know more about mind intelligence. But finally, we see what is the benefit of the knowledge of soul. It frees us from several problems arising due to misidentifying with body. Black versus white. And see, America last year was a big issue because Donald Trump had told something in his administration, some black was mistreated. Now, why this black and white issue comes? Because we identify with the body. He's black, he's white. But actual reality is both are Atmas, right? Whether Christian, Muslim, Hindu, they all are Atmas, right? And there is one God. But honestly, on a bodily distinction, we keep fighting. Then fear of, see, same way, rich versus poor. The Atma is neither rich, Atma is neither poor. It's only the status of people which makes them rich or somebody a poor. Then fear of death. See, everybody is full of death. Why? Because we identify with the body. But when we understand that this body is given to us by God, which will use it for a higher purpose, for a new destination, and go to the next destination, then it's a phase. Just like you use a car to go to your destination. So God has given that car, this bodily car to us to go for a destination. Right? And that what is the destination that we will discuss in further sessions. So just like when you when you know the destination, you're not afraid of giving the car. But when you don't know the destination, you're afraid of giving the car. What will happen to me after the car? So when there is a destination, we know, okay, where we are going. So we don't fear. Then we understand that God is always there with us as Paramatma in our heart, right? With the soul, to protect the soul from any mishap, to take the soul, accompany him to the next destination. Then societal tendencies. People think, oh, if I commit suicide is the greatest crime. And there was a person who was actually thinking of committing suicide, but he attended some of the Gita sessions given by a devotee and said, I gave up thought of committing suicide. Because people think, oh, I'm frustrated now, let me commit suicide and problem will be over. No, because the subtle body and the soul remains. The gross body is not there, but Sukshma Shari remains with the person. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. And that keeps him troubling so much. He has a desire to eat, but is not able to eat because he has no gross body. He has a desire to drink, but is not able to drink. Why? He has no gross body. So suicide is the worst thing for a soul. Then beg, borrow, steal, kill, but enjoy. The goal of life is to enjoy. Why? I'm this body. So I have to fulfill my body. But for a person, forget it, I'm the soul. I am something beyond this body. Because if I do something wrong, then my soul, my conscience, they go away. So from where that comes? Because there is Lord in our heart and the Atma, they feel little guilt feeling. But when we understand the body, then no guilt feeling comes and people are ready to do anything bad. Then fight in the name of religion. Now, do you tell me, soul is Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, Isai? Soul is soul. Right? There is no Hindu soul, there is no Muslim soul, because everyone is a part and parcel of God. And weight loss, too much tension about weight and other things comes with the cause of misidentifying with the body. Self-centric life, me life, no selfie. Too much people are concerned about taking selfies nowadays. In fact, in my hometown, one boy was coming drinking and he was taking a selfie and a truck came behind. And because he got so absorbed in seeing the selfie and he had to lose his life. So much people obsessed with it, not concerned about, what is a selfie. Self-centric life, people become too much there. And real equanimity comes. Vidya vina sampane brahmane gavi hastini. The humble say by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, elephant, and a dog eater. See, seeing with equal vision doesn't mean you go and embrace a tiger, right? There. We keep distance from a tiger, we understand, but he's also Jivatma. So let me not harm the tiger also unnecessarily. Let me not harm any living entity unnecessarily, because they're also part and parcel of God. They're also Atma. So metal point of view, we are bodies made of matter. We are no more than a chemical bundle. Everything is finished at the time of death. But the spiritual plane, we are not a metal body, flesh. The spirit soul engage in the metal body. Yeah. So though we understand everybody's soul, but we will treat different people differently. But we'll treat everybody with dignity. So we do not die when metal body stops to function. Like for example, in Srila Prabhupada's 50th anniversary, 35,000 from 125 countries joined. It even broke any world record in India. It came in the Guinness World Record. Because Prabhupada had given something which goes beyond communities, religion, and something, the knowledge based on unity, real universal brotherhood can come. And why do fear comes? Because we don't know. Like suppose you get up in midnight and some ghostly sounds are coming from the window. Then immediately, we are thinking, what is happening? And then you come and see, some animals are barking, some animals are making sound. Then you laugh, I was unnecessarily getting fearful what is happening. The same way, if we don't understand who we are, there is a fear. But when we understand that there is a God who's there to protect us and we are soul, then the fear goes away. So just as a bird is, see, this concept is very important. Like you remember I was telling about the driver and the soul analogy? In the driver and the soul. So we are just ending the session in 2-3 minutes. Then we'll show you one beautiful video and the conclusion will come. So just wait for that conclusion. I'll just take, I know it's past 8, though we have the session 7 to 8. I'll just take 3-4 minutes extra and then we will give you something special. So just wait for that. So just as the bird is trapped in the cage, the soul is trapped in the body made of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. So not knowing the real identity as a soul, the people spend all their life in polishing the cage, pampering the body without feeding the soul. Can you say how? Anybody like to give answer for this? Like you see this photo, this Mataji, this woman had a parrot. The parrot is dying. She's neglecting the parrot, but she is polishing the golden cage. The same way we are, polishing our body, but neglecting the parrot inside, neglecting our soul. So we are giving food, just like the food for the car. Food for the car is petrol, and food for the driver is food, vegetables, chapati. Same way, the food for the body is chapati, dal. But what is the food for soul? Any answer? What is the food for soul? Would anyone like to answer? What is the food for the soul?
Chanting the name of the Holy Lord.
Chanting the names of Lord. Oh, very nice.
And constantly remembering Him all the time while doing all your work.
Yes,
meditation.
Meditation. Okay.
Spirituality.
Yeah. So
reading Bhagavad-gita.
Reading Bhagavad-gita, very nice.
Knowledge.
So, knowledge, yes. So whatever way we can connect ourselves to God, that is food for the soul. Because soul derives its food from God. Right? There. So just like we get food from our mother. So same way, the soul gets food from God. So therefore, we have kirtan. We do kirtan praying for everybody's well-being, which actually can, when we connect ourselves to God. So it's introduced by Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Sadi Gaur Bhakta, 500 years before by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we'll introduce to this Kirtan in just half a minute, and then we will have question answers after that. And so this chant, so let us pray after when we are hearing that Kirtan. So you can also do Kirtan, and let us pray for everyone who is suffering, who is going through tough times, and for our families. We all can pray to the Lord to give us more hope, free us from problems and sufferings. So praying to the Lord with this kirtan. So that this kirtan is so soothing to the mind. It can bring away the mind from all fear, all negativities in our life, all stress, and can give a peace of mind. So what we read today, who am I? Soul different from mind and body. Then mind, intelligence, mechanism, intelligence, the decision maker. Mind is a storehouse of previous thoughts. Then benefits of the knowledge of soul, freedom from fear, universal brotherhood, food for the soul, connecting ourselves to God. So thank you very much. There. So we have this Kirtan, and after that I will take question answers. Till then, if you wish, you can type the question answers in chat also. There. And immediately after that, we'll take question answers. So Hema Prabhu, would you like to play the question? Yes, there.
At one stage, I did an exercise with myself, and that was I thought back over my life and thought about which were the moments where I was happiest. And as I did that little exercise, I realized the moments when I'm at my happiest, at my peak happiness, is when I'm singing kirtan. And so I realized that kirtan is the thing that brings me the greatest fulfillment and happiness. Just being there with other people, sharing kirtan, seeing their own happiness unfold, seeing their hearts open as they become free. They become free of fears and anxieties for that time while they're singing, while they're present, as they become peaceful and their hearts open with joy, with love. That just gives me the greatest fulfillment and sense of purpose and meaning, that I'm able to contribute to other people's happiness in life. My dad gave me the name Prahlad. Prahlad means one who gives happiness. So the way I try to live up to my namesake is by sharing the happiness of kirtan.